It's October 25th, 2024. I'm at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. Jeremy Lambert's here. It's a wonderful Friday morning. I'm old and I'm tired, and I work with effing children. How you doing, Jeremy?
You sound better than you did literally like 2 minutes ago. Folks, I wish I was recording this. You should have heard Joel. The first thing he says to me is hello, and if my eyes were closed, I would have thought it was CM Punk after AEW All Out. That is how he sounded when he was speaking to me. Now his voice is a little bit fresher. Maybe he's putting on. Maybe he's maybe he's just kind of get the radio voice going for everybody. But a little bit better than you sounded literally like 2 minutes ago.
I have been told that I have a fake voice. So why do I sound like this?
Fake voice? Is your voice AI?
Pretty much, it is. I'm sorry. I'm finally letting everyone in on the realities of my voice. Today's In the Weeds is brought to you by Spindrift and Mindy's Bakery. They couldn't operate a Target. Why do I sound like this? I just rolled out of bed 30 minutes ago. I'm not sick, but I did not sleep well last night. Let me tell you. You know how much I hate Fridays? People know that I really don't like Fridays because I have to wake up early every day. But I'm up late on Thursdays because I do the TNA post show, and then after the show, I cut the audio for Ring of Honor and TNA because we do both shows on one stream, and then I have to upload everything, and then I got to update every piece of whatever we're doing from it. So that keeps me up a little late, and then I had a few extra things that I had to do around the house, so I got to bed just after midnight. I did not fall asleep till after 1. My for some reason, my bedroom was so friggin' hot that I just couldn't sleep, and so I got up and went to another room. I basically was like sleeping for 45 minutes here and an hour here. I went on the couch in the living room and slept for an hour. And then I came back to my room. So anyway, I didn't sleep very well last night. Got up at 6:30, got the kid up and moving by 7. And they were out the door by 7:30. And I just went right back to sleep until 9:30. So I got a little more sleep, but I'm still waking up, still getting my wits about me. My notes are very minimal because I didn't take much. But I'm here, and that's why I sound this way, because I'm still getting up.
I'm glad you're here, Joel. I'm glad you're rested enough to do this show. Are you good? We're gonna have a strong show. You ready? You excited?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
a lot of wrestling.
Nah, not really. Listened to a lot of wrestling talk from you and Jensen yesterday. You guys decided to do the spotlight for 5.5 hours, so that was an experience. Shout out to Maggie, who, by the way, joined them on the on the show.
Shout out to Maggie. Maggie's fantastic. Yes, like I love talking about wrestling. I love doing a show with Steven Jensen. It's very hypocritical of me to be like, hey, 3 hours is good for a wrestling show. Like that's where I like the length of my wrestling pay-per-views. That's my sweet spot. And then do a 3.5 hour show. That's very hypocritical of me. We don't do it every week. You know, it's a special week when Jensen does not have to work. So hopefully people enjoyed it. But man, 3.5 hour shows. I don't know how like the Grab City guys do it. I guess the difference is like they only do Grab City once a week. Like technically Spotlight's only once a week, but I do this show 3 days a week.
They also go outside of wrestling quite
smart.
a lot. Yeah, they do. They do a lot of culture talk. They do a lot of stuff that's in their wheelhouse, and that's great. That's what also makes it a very, not only an interesting show, but also just a very like well-defined show. Right? It is Black wrestling fans talking about culture, talking about wrestling, and giving their takes, and it's great. That's why I like Grab City, because I learn something every time I shut my mouth and just listen up. So yeah, whereas us, we're just a bunch of bearded white guys talking about wrestling and sometimes interviewing talent. They interview talent too, by the way. Don't forget. So yeah, it's Grab City has the ability to do 5 hours every week because they are once a week. It's twice if you add the Q&A on Select.
All right, Joel. You want to do the plugs? You want to get the plugs out of the way as my internet, I think, freezes? Are we good? Am I here?
You're fine? Still here. Yeah, you're okay for now. Yeah, you can go ahead and leave a thumbs up on the video if you want Jeremy's internet to stay tip-top throughout. There you go. The fireworks mean it's going to work. And then after that, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked or FightfulOverbooked.com. However you found us, you can go ahead and hit subscribe, and you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. When we like engaging with our chat, we also enjoy when you're when you're able to financially support us and show us some love too, because the money goes to people not named Jeremy or Joel, and everybody needs a little TLC. That's Full Metal Mayhem for those who watch TNA.
Don't go chasing waterfalls?
Yeah. You never heard of Matt Left Die Hardy?
No, I haven't. That sounds not great. All right, Joel. First off, real quickly, Ryan, 10-hour in the weeds. Probably never. There will be. I've promised people like a 24-hour like charity stream at some point. Yes. I'm still going to do this. Yeah, I don't know when, but at some point it will happen. Just don't know when. A lot of moving parts in my life. But Joel, since Wednesday's show, I've been thinking a lot about what happened on Wednesday and how I feel like I let the people down. I feel like I let myself down. I had a half pound of Reese Cup, and I only got through about like half of it.
Yeah, just about
maybe a little over half. Yeah,
and I think there's a little more than half left. But anyway, semantics here.
Nah, I was ill prepared. I was munching on some nerd gummy clusters beforehand. Then doing that with the Reese's. Not a great mixture there. You know what I'm talking about? We had guests multiple times, so I had to like pause when the guest came in. I need the redemption, Joel. I need it. Okay?
This is your Tosh.0 over web redemption, is it?
Yes. So we're going to run it back. We're going to run it back today. We got 2 hours. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about, sadly, and we're going to finish this thing during this show. So run it back to Wednesday. Here we go. Milk! And there we go. Reese Cup. There we go.
You
ready, everybody? We're going to finish the story. That's right, Ken. We are going to finish the story. And if we don't do it today, we still got 2 more Reese Cups to try this on Monday. And if we don't do it on Monday, we got another Reese Cup to try it on Wednesday. We got multiple shots at this. But we're getting it done today. We are getting it done today. We're going to finish this whole half-pound Reese Cup in 2 hours.
All right. 2 hours?
My wife's very disappointed and upset at me that we're trying this again.
I mean, I could do that.
2 hours.
You can do that in 20 minutes, but, here we are.
Well, you got to pace yourself a little bit.
So you have to pace yourself a little bit. I'm telling you, I could do it.
No, you waited 2 years. I don't want to hear this from you. Your Reese Cups expired.
Yeah, they still taste delicious. Just put mine in the fridge. Everything was fine. Oh, yeah, you can't do the freezer thing with that. Yeah, it's too hard. That's going to hurt. Your dentist is going to be so angry at you.
I haven't gone to the dentist in 8 years.
Spoken like a true Ohioan.
My teeth really hurt. That's a line from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, everybody.
Oh, fun. Fantastic. Anyway, we have some wrestling to talk about. We got someone saying diabetic shock incoming. I can tell you no, but yes. You'll definitely be wired in a few hours, which is great because you probably have, something to listen to and catch up with in terms of transcription work and podcasts and all that stuff.
I mean, I've always got stuff to do, Joel.
That's true. You're never without something to do. I'm getting a message from the wonderful ITW general manager saying, I argued vociferously against this.
Oh yeah. She was not thrilled. She was like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah, she is much
I was in rough shape Wednesday after the show. I was in very rough shape. But again, I hadn't paced myself well. I was ill prepared. You can't eat like half a bag. You can't eat half a bag of nerd gummy clusters and then try to do a half pound of Reese Cup. It doesn't work. So that's on me, everyone. That's on me. Today, didn't do that. I had breakfast, ate just normal, and now we're going into the Reese Cup dessert.
And if anything, you can just listen to CM Punk, who says, don't look at social media.
You see that article?
I did. I just saw it pop up right now. I'm assuming that's from Adam Barnard's interview with Tony. No, I haven't clicked it yet. So let's take a look. Oh, it's from Malcolm. Okay, shout out Muscle Man Malcolm. Sorry, I know that Adam had done one as well. So here we go. There you go. Check it out over on Fightful.com and check out Muscle Man Malcolm's interview with Tony D'Angelo ahead of Halloween Havoc this Sunday night. Insulin the Weeds. There's some really good puns coming out of this. I do appreciate it. Keep going with those, folks. If you got one, drop them. Put them in the chat. Anything can be better than new Ring of Honor champion Chris Jericho. we got to talk about this because I know you and Jensen had a very spirited discussion. You telling Jensen that he's wrong, conversation on the spotlight.
People are mad at me.
Why are people mad at you?
Jensen mad at me.
Our
pal Kimmy Sokol, she's over here shooting on me on other people's podcasts, blaming me for this Chris Jericho stuff.
Oh, because you started the manifestation of the Nueve? Is that what we're going after you for? Listen, people have gone after me before as well. I get it. Sometimes you just get it right and people think that you're manifesting. But in reality, you're not manifesting. You're just reading the tea leaves. You're just putting it out to the universe. You're just making things happen. That's all. I don't blame you.
I've got a weird kinship with Chris Jericho. I guess I'll call it that. I can very strangely call what Chris Jericho is going to do. I don't say this with too much pride, a little bit. Famously, the Lambs predicted the Jericho Appreciation Society.
It's true.
Please tell me who thought Chris Jericho was going to form a group with Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, and 2.0. Who thought that was going to be a thing at the time when it became a thing? Literally nobody except the Lambs, who a week before that group came to fruition said it was going to happen. I said that was just like a joke bit of like, haha, this will be fun. 2.0. Daniel Garcia, why would they form a group with Chris Jericho? Why? And then it happened. The Nueve. Why would this be a thing? Why? Then it is. People, I wrote the headline, Terrifier 3 starring Chris Jericho tops the box office. Man, the comments on that starring, he was in it for 5 seconds. Oh, he's the star. It's like, it's a joke, everybody. I know he's not the star of the film, but it's a joke. He thinks he's the star. What did he do that same night on Dynamite? I'm in the #1 box office movie. I'm the co-star of Terrifier 3. Bar for bar out here. I have a strange way of knowing what Chris Jericho is going to do. So I knew that the Nueve was going to come to fruition. People keep telling me, hey, can you tell Chris Jericho to be off television? Can you predict that? Can you do that for us? No, I'm not going to do that because I actually like Chris Jericho on television because it upsets people. That's funny to me.
All I'm saying is once we interview Chris Jericho, this will be all sorted out. When Jericho comes on and says, hi, guys, big fan of the show, been watching you since day one, and then names the date we started, that's when we know the Jericho Whisperer has been among us the entire time. Yeah, the Lambs needs to talk more to Jericho. That's what we need to do. When the second match was made, it felt fairly obvious that Jericho was going to pick up the win. There's nothing else going on with Mark Briscoe, although you can argue that he can make the argument that Mark Briscoe was so wrapped up in this Moxley stuff that he didn't have his eyes on the prize, and that's why he dropped the title. I think that's a weak excuse, but it's something they can use by Mark Briscoe was outside in the parking lot instead of getting ready for his Ladder Wars match, blah, blah, blah. Like, there is a story you can pull from it. It's not a very strong one off the top of my head, but Jericho won. His group got involved. They got involved last time too in an actual match. We did this weirdly to get there, but I don't know, man. This is weird. It's not good. But Jericho has the Ring of Honor Championship now.
You know what argument I make? I make the argument that Mark Briscoe has shitty friends.
That is true. He does have shitty friends.
We saw Brian Keith come down, so he's already getting involved. Rocky comes out, say, okay. Tomohiro Ishii, did he just arrive?
Oh, that was
the arena?
Not great. So he all of a sudden, of all the times to bring out a character at the end of a big match. And this was a big match. Like, let's not downplay the fact that it was a ladder match, that it was, ladder wars is a Ring of Honor staple. The match was fine. Like, the match was fun. They did every, bit of car crash wrestling that they were going to do. And it was, the match was fine. But then you had Jericho win, which makes people feel one way. And then all of a sudden you start hearing that classical piano. And I was like, Ishii, why is Ishii back? And then at least commentary was like, last time we saw him, Jericho took him out. I'm just like, all right, why? So yeah, not a great start to the Nueve's Ring of Honor Championship campaign, in my opinion.
How's it not a great start? A big piece of chocolate. Look at this thing.
Yeah, that's a big piece. Why is it not a great start? Because when I think about people challenging for the Ring of Honor Championship, Tomohiro Ishii is not the first person I would have. But if you're trying to tie up the loose end that he got taken out during the summer by them, like it works. It's also just like, I don't know. I maybe would have done it second. I would have had a big challenge to start. I know Shane Taylor. Everyone's coming back to Shane Taylor because Taylor back in August called out Mark Briscoe, said he wanted the world title, and now that's been completely buried. And so there is an argument
that Taylor's got to be too busy losing on Rampage tonight.
Pretty much. Geez, spoilers, Jeremy. Anyway, spoilers.
I actually have no idea who's going to win that match. My assumption is I've not seen Rampage spoilers. Okay, everybody. I apologize.
That's true. That's a call-in thing.
Yeah. My assumption is Undisputed Kingdom wins. I don't know who takes the pinfall. I just assume Undisputed Kingdom's going to win.
I think you're right with that. But anyway, we'll find out on tonight's episode of Rampage, unless you go and read the spoilers over on FightfulSelect.com. So, yeah, the Jericho thing is a lot of people came back with, well, you weren't watching anyway, so why do you care? And like, it's a valid and invalid criticism. It's valid because there aren't a lot of people watching Honor Club to begin with, right? The numbers are like 12,000 subscribers, something like that. And then who knows how many people are watching social clips, who knows how many people are watching recap shows, whatever. But if the idea here is that we grow our audience based on who our champions are and who's involved, I don't know if Chris Jericho's the guy in 2024 that's doing that. Jericho in 2022, you could argue, had a better, better ring awareness, better matches going for him at the time. He was a better wrestler in a lot of ways in 2022. And in 2024, he hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire. People get older. People have, people start to decline at one point from their prime. So I don't know if having Jericho as the champion now is that big of a help to a company, or at least a part of a company that's trying to figure out what their next steps are. Because back in the summertime, when they did the Arlington residency, there was that whole, like, we're going to focus on Ring of Honor reporting. And that was told to multiple people from multiple people in AEW that this is going to be a thing, Ring of Honor. What that meant was pretty nebulous. It could have easily been, we're going to focus more of Ring of Honor as a developmental territory, which a lot of people have been pulling for a long time. Or they were going to maybe put some more star power behind it. Nobody really knew, but they just knew that people were going to want to pay attention to Ring of Honor because they had certain plans for it. If this was the plan, and I don't think it was personally, not exactly the plan I would have pitched. So Jericho captures the title, and then the other side of the argument is how many people are going to actually want to pay for Honor Club now that Jericho is the champion, and how often is Chris Jericho realistically going to show up on Honor Club? You know what I would have done, Jeremy? This past Thursday's show, or even on next Thursday's show, I don't need Jericho in front of the audience saying, I'm your champion now, and then play it on Honor Club. I would do an exclusive backstage thing for Honor Club with Jericho as the champion, and all throughout Dynamite, maybe even on Saturday, just tout it, be like, he's going to speak exclusively on Honor Club. You can see Chris Jericho, the new Ring of Honor champion. You can go find him on Honor Club. He's going to give an exclusive sit-down interview with Lexi Nair or whoever, and you'll get his thoughts on winning the championship then. Do it like that. He can still be on Dynamite Collision, whatever. That's up to them for that. But that's the way I would do it, because if you're going to at least have him as the champion, have him show up once in a while on the television show. Because I know Mark Briscoe wanted to be a big proponent of showing up and working more often, and he was.
That's why they took the title off Mark Briscoe. They're like, wait a second, you actually want to work the ROH show? Never mind.
No. Get out of here. We don't want to do this. I don't want any of this. So if that's what they want to do, that's personally what I would do, is at least have one quote unquote exclusive sit down interview with Chris Jericho so that it bolsters or at least gauges the interest of Ring of Honor fans. Is this something that people want to see? I mean, listen, if you listen to social media as much as Tony Khan and co do, then it's going to matter, because there's definitely a sentiment about Chris Jericho's involvement in wrestling in 2024. But I'd like to see them at least try one thing with Honor Club. And this is coming from the guy who doesn't watch Ring of Honor, because I cover the other show that's on Thursday nights at the same time, and that's TNA. And I have my own gripes with TNA from last night, we can talk about a little bit later. But yeah, we're talking about Jericho and all that stuff right now. So I know you gave a lot of your thoughts, but I'm wondering if you've had a chance to kind of sit down and think more about the Chris Jericho of 2024 and the Ring of Honor World Championship.
I don't think. That sounds awful. That sounds terrible. You know what I just noticed, Joel? That's way more important than any of this. Where are the headlines?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's bring back the headlines, shall we?
Are they like?
Wait a minute, where are they?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hold on. I think I got it.
You have to click preview, edit, and then show headlines.
Yeah. What happened here?
I don't know. They got these presets now. Oh, are we doing more of these? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because
can I change? Oh boy, what just happened?
Yeah. Oh no, you could do presets.
Oh.
We could be boxes. We can be full on. Yeah, but then they changed the color, and that just ruined everything. So let's get our green back. Okay. There we go.
All right.
Anyway.
Oh, we're talking. Okay. All right. So
what were we talking about? You know exactly what it was.
All right. I'm going to circle back to a few things you said. One, the Arlington tapings and how, we're going to put more stock into it now. Basically, all they did was they had Mark Briscoe on the show a couple more times. Like there was some, and then they kind of did an angle with Sammy Guevara's return and Dustin and stuff. Like they put some equity into Sammy, Dustin, and Dark Order feud, and they had Mark Briscoe work more than he typically does. That was the, hey, pay attention to Ring of Honor. Otherwise, it was still largely the same show that it's been. And since those Arlington tapings, it's just been back to here's some matches, and now guys who are never on the show are going to get title shots. And people were really caught off guard. Brian Cage is getting a title shot against Atlantis Jr. Huh? What? Okay, sure. And now Brian Cage is in a tag team with Lance Archer, but he's got that title coming around. Sammy Guevara comes out with the ROH tag team title, in case you're wondering who the ROH tag team champion is, and he's losing to Shelton Benjamin. The Trios champions, I don't remember the last time the Von Erichs worked a show. I think they're still around. They're the Trios champions, allegedly. Yeah, now you got Chris Jericho. I like your idea of, hey, let's do an exclusive on Honor Club with Chris Jericho. However you get him on the show. I don't know if he'll do live segments. I don't know if he'll do matches. But if you can get him on the show, cool. Get him on the show. I don't think it'd be difficult to do a pre-tape with him and then air it on Honor Club. I don't think it's difficult at all. I would like to see people on ROH kind of go after Jericho. I would like to see Shane Taylor win some matches and then target Jericho. I'd like to see a lot of people win some matches and then target Jericho. But then you got to actually follow up on it, because we heard Shane Taylor try to go after Mark Briscoe and then nothing came out of that. And then it was, okay, well, Mark Briscoe is going to feud with Chris Jericho on AEW television for reasons. So you've got to actually follow up if you're going to have people win ROH matches and then target Chris Jericho. Look, I'm not optimistic about this. If I'm an ROH fan, there's no reason to. You can say, oh, TV deal, but we said that 2 years ago, and look what happened. Nothing came out of it. AEW is not as hot as it was 2 years ago. Chris Jericho is not as hot as he is 2 years ago. Like, why do you think this is going to be different? Maybe Warner Brothers Discovery wants the programming more than they did 2 years ago, because they're rebranding True TV as TNT Sports. So maybe that gives reason of, okay, well, maybe they would want ROH, where 2 years ago they just didn't have a spot for it. Tony's talked about calling it AEW ROH. That hasn't come to fruition yet, but if that helps them land a TV deal, maybe that helps further things along on top of Chris Jericho. I just don't know what Jericho's overall drawing power is in 2024. I think it's good. I think it's probably better than people want to give him credit for. Maybe not even as like a day-to-day or a minute-by-minute ratings draw, but as just a name you've heard of and a name you know, and a guy who, whether you like Chris Jericho or not, the guy goes out there and he does media and he promotes and he works hard at that stuff. He's Mark Briscoe. I'm not gonna say no offense to Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe actually did a very good job getting out there before these matches and doing media and everything. The champion has done a fairly good job, but Mark Briscoe did wrestling media for the most part. He didn't do a ton of, I didn't see him do a ton of like local kind of stuff. Brian Cage was actually on local media as a AEW champion, Brian Cage.
That's right.
Chris Jericho is going to do your bigger media stuff. He's way more likely to be involved in that. So there's reasons for Chris Jericho to be the champion. And they can do good stuff with him, but they can do good stuff with anybody. You could have put the title, I kind of jokingly mentioned Will Ospreay as put the belt on him. You can put the title on anybody and you can book them however you want. Jensen was correct. And like, this is not an exclusive to Chris Jericho thing. Like, I know I gave him a lot of shit yesterday, but like, he was correct. And they could do this with anybody. This is not just, oh, Chris Jericho, this is bad. It's bad right now because people don't like Chris Jericho and they want more focus on ROH. Yes, I completely understand that. But it doesn't matter who the title's on, whether it's Jericho, whether it's Mark Briscoe, whether they decided to go with someone like Shane Taylor. If Shane Taylor is just still on AEW television on ROH, do people have the same complaints? Genuine question. If Shane Taylor won the title, but he's on Collision or Rampage, and he's not on ROH champion, are people still complaining?
Yeah, absolutely they are. Because a lot of the conversation has always been, why are the champions not on Ring of Honor, at least appearing in some way, shape, or form? This is why I go back to giving Mark Briscoe some props, because he wanted, and he's outwardly said, I wanted to be on the show more. I want to bring more prestige to the Ring of Honor championship in AEW, but also in Ring of Honor. And he was there working. That, I think if you did that same thing to literally anyone, it could have been Dalton Castle, it could have been Roddy Strong, it could have been Shane Taylor, like you said, if they weren't working the show that they're champions of, then it not only diminishes the title, but it further diminishes the show itself and proves that it's not worth your time or your viewership or your money in the case of being a subscriber to Honor Club. So no, you want, it could be Jericho, but whatever. I think Jericho's held to a higher standard because of all the things you just mentioned, that he's good with media, that he knows better, and he should be booked in a way that he is made to look like a star where he goes, because he has longevity, tenure, whatever you want to call it in wrestling. He has a name, he has a brand, he has a value. And if you're going to give him a valuable spot, then you have to use him like so. That's the importance here. What does Jericho bring to Ring of Honor in 2024?
I think you mentioned Jericho and responsibility, and he should know these things. This is where I'd actually like to see Chris Jericho take some leadership and say, put me on ROH. Put me on the ROH show. Because I don't know if Tony Khan is going to say it. I have no idea. But if Chris Jericho goes to him and he says, hey, let me do a live segment in front. Let me do TV time. I know people don't like TV time and whatever, but like that's still kind of a big segment for an ROH show. Let me build something in ROH. Let me build up this content and let's do it on ROH television. Let's not do it. Show a recap on Dynamite. Show a recap on Collision. Draw people into ROH. Tell them, watch this on Honor Club. That's what I would like to see from Chris Jericho. Because Chris Jericho, he has the clout to say these things and to be able to go to Tony and say, hey, I want to do this. And Tony's going to listen to him. That's what I would like to see from Chris Jericho. If he's going to be the champion, I don't want to, because they think, this is what they think, Joel. And you know this. We all know this. They think, oh, the ROH title's on AEW. So that's good for ROH. That's better for ROH. When it's not. People don't view it like that. People see this as, why is the ROH title on AEW? Why are all the ROH people typically losing on AEW? Why aren't they on ROH? If you're going to build the ROH brand, you got to put these people on ROH. Why am I going to watch Ring of Honor if I see these people on AEW? There's no reason to. If you actually want people to watch the Ring of Honor show, put the Ring of Honor people, put the Ring of Honor champions on the show.
So remember when AEW Rampage started? Other than the
CM Punk.
Yeah, other than the CM Punk stuff.
I was there for the first episode of Rampage.
What was the other big draw weekly for AEW Rampage? Do you remember what that was? It was Jericho on commentary.
Oh.
And I used to, that was one of the drawing points to get you to watch Rampage. And then people very quickly listened and heard that it was Jericho yelling at you for 30 minutes on commentary. And like that, listen, I was very much turned off for that. But at the beginning, that was something that they were using as like a come and watch the show. Same thing with Dynamite during the pandemic, right? Jericho would be on commentary like every other week or something like that. And they use that as a draw. Now, believe me, I am not at all suggesting that they should do Ring of Honor featuring Chris Jericho on commentary. Two reasons why. One, the commentary is added post-production, right? They do it from a different spot. They're not at the desk during the show tapings, and rightfully so, because it's like 2 a.m, and I've been there, so I can say that. So they wouldn't have Jericho come and do the post-production record, or maybe they would, but they wouldn't be able to put him on screen, which was one of the benefits of doing it like that. Yeah, someone was saying that they liked him at first and then he wore out his welcome on commentary, and I get it. So there is a benefit to having someone like Jericho around, but you have to figure out what that looks like. And just having the Ring of Honor champions come in and drop matches here and there on AEW TV, it's not the way to do it. Like Drew brings up a very good point. Athena's been at the top champion of Ring of Honor for over a year, kept exclusively on Ring of Honor, benefited as the women's champion, and she isn't losing weekly on Collision. And she's about to have her Halloween feud against Abaddon, and that's fine. The next, for those who are wondering, next Thursday is Halloween, so that's why they're doing this. It makes perfect sense. It's a spooky, silly thing. And then afterwards, they're going back to the Billy Stark story by the way things are looking. They did the Minion celebration, the big, longest champion ever celebration, and then Billy Starks and Athena got into a heated argument, and here we are. Don't know when that match is happening, because I don't know if Final Battle is even happening this year, because they haven't announced anything. And it's already a week before November. And Final Battle is typically a December show. And they have made no strides to make you think that Final Battle is coming. And this is normally one of those shows where they give you a pretty good laneway, a pretty good runway to get ready for a show like this. But there's been no announcement. By the way, you mentioned the Von Erichs. Last time they worked was New York for Grand Slam weekend, or Grand Slam tapings.
Did they?
Yeah, they did the Ring of Honor tapings that night.
They taped Ring of Honor that night as well? Jeez.
Yeah, like I said, 2 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about Final Battle. I thought we would have heard something by now. Final Battle is typically, it's supposed to be the biggest ROH show. Throughout its history, it's always been the biggest show. Final Battle has always been the biggest Ring of Honor show. The WrestleMania show, Supercard, crept up there after a while, especially when they ran MSG. But historically, Final Battle is like, this is the big blow off for everything. The fact that they got no real announcement, nothing out there, little concerning. But, what can you do on that?
Sorry, I thought you had more to add to that. I was getting back to my wife about an email we got. But yeah, if they don't do Final Battle, that's going to be a very strange feeling for Ring of Honor fans, because like you said, that is their WrestleMania, that is their big show, that's the one, that's where a lot of things happen, whether that's a title change or if that's just a big development, that's where it happens. Would they do Final Battle as the same weekend as World's End? It's a little late, but you could, if you get 2 nights at the arena at a discounted rate. They're going to be in Florida at Addison Arena for World's End. So it's possible. Just they haven't announced it. But meanwhile, World's End, I think the tickets just went on sale. So you'd probably want to do one because you would have want to put both on sale at the same time and maybe offer a combo ticket of some sorts. Or if there's a venue nearby, have some sort of other offering for Final Battle, but I don't think you want to do that. I think you'd rather just use the same venue twice and have the opportunity to use the same arena, so on and so forth. So I don't know. It's very interesting.
They should hold World's End. Where's World's End at?
The Addison Arena in Florida.
Okay.
Same place they did Revolution 2022.
Okay. Where's that WWE house show at?
Also in Orlando, but it's at the bigger one. I think at the BB&T Center or whatever it is. Let me check that one because I know it's in Florida. It's in the same city at the same time.
Where can they hold Final Battle in Florida?
The Kia Center in Orlando. Where could they'd have to hold it? Well, it'd be the Sunday or the Friday. Actually, it would probably
No.
same night. You want to do the same night?
Yeah, let's run 3 shows.
Let's go. And
all in Orlando, all at the same time.
Okay, hold on. Let's take a look. We're gonna look for where's the Addison Arena? The Addison Arena in Florida, right?
Louis, you're a Magic fan. Tell us all the arenas in Florida.
No. I want an esports arena in Florida.
Is Amway still Amway Arena? Is this
the Amway Center is
that's in Orlando?
Is that Orlando?
Yeah, Amway Arena.
They're running the Kia Center for the house show.
Okay, that's
the
fine.
night before is SmackDown at the Amalie Arena in Tampa.
Okay.
So
yeah, Amway Center is that the new Kia Center?
I'm guessing that it's the new Kia Center because that's normally where WWE would run.
Or Amway is Kia Center, or are they the same thing? Yeah, I think
it's the Kia Center now. The Amway Arena has become the Kia Center in Orlando.
All right. Where can we run? Where's an arena in Florida that we can run here?
Okay,
Camping World. What if they ran Camping World Stadium for ROH Final Battle?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the answer right there. Let's see. Nearby the Kia Center, let's look for Esports Arena.
Wait, USTA National Campus. What is this? That's going to be some university campus, right?
Oh, we use the Full Sail Fortress.
Can they run Full Sail?
Of course they can.
Going to be mad at that? Okay.
They can, run the Full Sail in WWE. Haven't had a thing since 2019.
All right.
You can run the Full Sail Fortress. It is a what do you call it? It's an esports arena. Let's see how much it holds. How many people does the Fortress hold? The Fortress at Full Sail. Could you imagine?
Daly's place is too far away. Jacksonville and Florida are a little ways away.
It's perfect. 500 guest capacity at the Fortress.
Okay. All right, there we go. 3 shows, 1 night. WWE house show, AEW World's End, ROH Final Battle. 3 shows within about 5 minutes of each other.
How far is Full Sail's gimmick from the Amalie Arena?
I feel like this is a great idea.
Yeah, we should probably pitch it officially. But either way.
People allegedly watch this show who know things, so maybe they'll hear this as I talk with my mouth full while snacking on a Reese cup.
Turn on the closed captioning for this moment. Listen, they got you snacking on Reese's cup and me sounding like CM Punk about to pop off about his coworkers.
He likes his coworkers now.
Yeah, now he does, but the ones who listen to our show certainly didn't. Anyway, I'm old and I'm tired and I work with fucking children.
I went back and I re-listened to part of that the other day because I was talking with Riccacino about Adam Cole because he just interviewed Adam Cole. And he always sends me stuff. I was like, oh, thanks for sending this along. And he's like, oh yeah, Adam was so nice, just like a good person. I was like, you know how I knew Adam Cole was like the nicest person in the world? In the middle of CM Punk's rant, people don't want to show up to work. People, oh, my plane is delayed. I can't show up to the show. People don't want to listen to advice. try to give him advice, try to help him out. They don't want to listen to it. Adam Cole, sweetheart of a human being. I hope he heals up well. Hope he's doing well. That was literally what he said. He's over here burying people for not showing up, for not listening to advice. And then it's like, love Adam Cole, the nicest guy in the world. That's when I hope everyone realized, okay, this man has a grudge against everybody in this company, but he's still taking time to say Adam Cole best wishes. There's got to be something very good about Adam Cole.
Or maybe CM Punk just had some really good intel. Maybe he just knew. Maybe Punk was right all along, and it wasn't just a bad fitting. Oh, I love Adam Cole. Adam Cole is just a nice dude. Go watch his Twitch channel. Go watch the Chugs. He's one of the only nice dudes in wrestling that you'll find consistently. I like that.
Who's ready for story time with Adam Cole, baby?
Yeah,
that's segment.
The one thing I'm done with. Oh,
that segment kind of died.
Well, listen. Let's talk about Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong. I want to show you this from last week. We didn't really get to talk about this segment. The MJF sitting in a chair with his wine goblet and the fire going in the background. Did you see the fire going on in the background, Jeremy Lambert?
Sure, allegedly.
Yes, you saw they were doing the light was kind of flickering. What's in the fireplace, Jeremy? Do you see what's in the fireplace over there in the background of this MJF promo?
What's in it? There's a book.
What's in the fireplace? Not on top of the fireplace. What's in the fireplace?
Firewood? I don't know.
Nothing.
I can't tell.
There is nothing in the fireplace, and they're trying to make it look like there was a damn fire in the fireplace. I'm all about continuity in my wrestling, and that was a very incontinuitous moment. Yeah, so this was not a great segment, but first to 3 wins gets to face MJF at Full Gear. And you just have it in the back of your mind that MJF's going to do that. You're both at 2 wins apiece. So how about you face each other? And then whoever wins that match is going to get me at Full Gear. And he thinks that he's turning the friends against them, when in reality, these are 2 guys who came up in Ring of Honor. They're just going to shake hands, and that's going to be that. The winner is going to get MJF. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Roderick Strong this time, and that they stretch out the Adam Cole thing till the end of the year and do it at World's End. May as well do it where it all started, where the big reveal happened, when everything went off kilter with the Devil storyline. But yeah, it was what it was. I'm over the MJF uses the same trope to get to him storyline for everything. You want me? You got to do this bullshit. No, thank you.
This segment, the live crowd wasn't great most of the night. Like they didn't react to the whole.
They were in Salt Lake City, Utah. The Mormons are very polite there. They know when to they golf clap.
Yeah, okay, fair. The live crowd didn't. And look, the show was hit and miss. It wasn't one of their stronger shows, I didn't think, overall. So sometimes it's the crowd, sometimes it's the show. My favorite part of this whole thing, though, was MJF's like, you gotta win 3 matches. And they're both like, okay, cool. Let's do that. Yeah. We can do that. Adam Cole's like, we'll win 6 matches. We'll win them all in one night. We got that. We'll do that. Yeah. And then Buddy Matthews is like, all right, Adam Cole, next week I'm gonna face you. And then Cole steps to him, is like, what's your problem, dude? Why'd you challenge me? Well, you got to win 3 matches, Adam.
I want to be on the show. I want to wrestle. House of Black have been on Collision exclusively forever. They just got let back onto Wednesdays. So yeah, if I'm Buddy Matthews, I'm probably going to want to have a match on the Wednesday show.
Adam was so pissed. He's like, fuck. He's like, Buddy Matthews. No. Where's Aaron Solo at? Can't I face him?
I was thinking Serpentico, or maybe, John Cruz, maybe Bendejo. Like, sorry, come on. And Buddy Matthews.
That's who Roddy should face. Roddy should face like the most no-name people.
That's the thing. There's part of me that thinks that that's what they're going to do, and it's going to be it's going to be told that MJF picked the opponents, or that Roddy Strong picked his opponents and he just went light, and then at least you had a little bit of heat to Strong versus Cole. But yeah, it does feel like it's going to be 2 easy wins for Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole has like hard ass challenges. I don't know who the second man's going to be. It could. Do you have anyone off the top of your head? Is it going to be Brody King maybe, and he just has to go through House of Black to get there?
I'm not beating Brody King.
I don't want to beat him either, but it's just one name I thought about.
Yeah, I know he's just back doing trio stuff after the showing against Darby, which is a little disappointing. But I don't really want to beat Brody King there. Like Buddy Matthews is a good first opponent. That's kind of a tough one for Cole. Over a year out of the ring, like Buddy's a big dude. Buddy can go. Like if Cole is not 100%, like that's there. And we'll see. I didn't really think about Cole and Roddy like facing each other at 2-2 for some reason. I just thought like they're just gonna do a match at the same time. It's gonna be like a tag team match, and whoever gets the pinfall gets it. Because if it's 2-2, like why Adam Cole has a much bigger gripe than Roderick Strong at this, right?
But
like
MJF is a prize fighter, and if you want the prize, you got to. I know, I agree with you.
No. But I'm saying, like, if Adam Cole and Roderick Strong are like actual friends, Roddy should be like, "Yeah, dude, you face him. Like, you're the guy who really has the gripe here. I'm mad at him, but you know, he didn't put me on the shelf for a year. I know that wasn't MJF's fault of what happened, but that's how you spin it. Like, he didn't really ruin my life. I just kept wrestling after everything happened. Like, if they're really good friends, Roddy should probably just be like, yeah, just take this victory. That's why I didn't even think of them being 2-2. They're gonna have like an actual match because Adam Cole should just win that. So I thought that one would be like a tag team match and whoever gets the pinfall. Or two, they just like wrestle at the same time. It's like, all right, Adam Cole and Roderick beat the clock challenge comes to AEW. They haven't done that. They've done a lot of WWE ideas. They haven't done beat the clock challenge.
This is where I wish they had done not War Games, the Blood and Guts around this time, because then you can use both rings and for the first time ever have two matches going on at the same time in two rings, two referees, and you got to pay attention to both matches. That would have been fun. And you do split screen. It would have been silly, but it would have been fun. Yeah, AEW speed. AEW fast. You got to beat them in less than 2 minutes and 55 seconds. No questions now. No questions. I love the idea that Cole goes through House of Black and Roddy goes through the Premier Athletes. The problem is, like, because it's first to 3, you can take a trios team and do something like that where one goes through the easy path, the other one goes through the hard path. But I really do feel like it's going to end up with Roddy and Adam Cole having to face each other to get the win, the third win, because that's something that MJF would do. It's very like, making the friends face each other, and then the friend that's gonna fracture the friendship, and then Adam Cole's gonna be like, you dumb son of a bitch, like we're still friends, we wrestle sometimes, brothers fight. You can even bring up Mark Briscoe and Jay Briscoe and just be like, they used to fight all the time, remember this time and that time. I don't know, but it's just it's a really weird way for MJF to be like, I'm not available for the next few weeks because I have to go hobnob with Adam Sandler and all the others, so have at it. You guys fight each other, and the winner gets to face me and Adam Sandler at a tag team match at Full Gear. Oh, I didn't agree to that, MJF. Yeah, you did now, old man.
Can we do this again? Can we have Adam Sandler appear on this show?
Of course, Adam Sandler can appear whenever you want him to.
Do you do the Hanukkah song?
Probably.
You know it?
Put on your yarmulke, it's time for Hanukkah. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. Instead of one day of presents, we have 8 crazy nights. It's like it's in a Jew's headspace. It just
I was gonna say, are you when like you're born, is that song just already come embedded in your brain?
Yeah, it's just kind of there. It's, you know the mobiles that little babies have, and sometimes they're playing like Twinkle Twinkle. For Jewish kids, it's the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler. It's just that. Over and over again. O.J. Simpson, not a Jew, but guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He can fight it. We got Ann Landis and his sister, dear Abby. Harrison Ford's a quarter Jewish, not too shabby. I swear to God, it's just embedded in our brains. It's a chip that they put in. I can't wait until my kid can like really speak so I can teach him that and make sure that it's in his brain properly.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, Adam Cole has to go through all of Adam Sandler's SNL characters. No, they're all gonna laugh at you. Anyway, so MJF went and got himself a hand job.
Who cares? Who cares about that?
I was gonna ask, how does his girlfriend feel about that? She's been openly admitted to be existing on the show.
Oh, the masseuse?
No, the masseuse isn't his girlfriend.
Oh,
His girlfriend's the other on-air interviewer that sometimes shows up.
I don't know. She seems fine with it.
Does she? I don't know. Very interesting relationship in that case. Good for them. Hope they're happy.
Did you see this? Who cares about wrestling at this point? We're talking about music now for some reason. Did you see what I'm going through, Joel? I know you saw.
Yeah. So my friend's gonna be there. This is
really?
This is May. Yeah, my friend who plays in a fairly well-known 80s metal band will be there, and he works for Knotfest. If that didn't give it away, then someone will figure it out. Also, he worked with Alicia Atout at one point, because we'll all tie it back to wrestling somehow. So they're all friendly. But yeah, I think he plans to be there. He's not performing there, but I think he plans to be there.
Let me upload this. Why the hell? I'm pissed at StreamYard. StreamYard's pissing me off today.
Why? Is it giving you some pushback?
And it's just being a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So everyone, there's this festival, allegedly.
It's amazing.
Look at this lineup here.
Dude, they're doing Metallica closing out 2 nights, Friday and Sunday. Linkin Park is going to be on the headliner. Korn is Thursday night because that's what you want. There's some really great bands there. 3 Days Grace ×2. Let's go. Alice Cooper is going to sever his head. Alice in Chains opening for Metallica on night 4. There's some great stuff. I know your partner's really excited for Acid Bath. First time they've been together 16 years. She's really into that. Cannibal Corpse, something else that's fun to watch live. Who else is on this? Municipal. I love Municipal Waste. Armored Saint. That's where what's his face got his start. Oh my god, it's gonna kill me. John Bush who went and did what do you call it? He went and did Anthrax for a little bit and then came back. Black Dahlia Murder's been around for a long time. Keisha Strain's been around for a long time. These are all the people. I think you said you're going Friday, right? So that's gonna be fun. Testament rules, Exodus rules, Overkill rules. Just don't listen to their singer and his political views. Seven Dust is great. Alien Ant Farm, you can go on Thursday. Go listen to them do their Smooth Criminal remake. I'm sure that'll get the kids going. And just don't see Motionless in White, because you'll have to hear the Rhea Ripley theme song. She might show up on Thursday. This is also next year.
Joel.
Jeremy. Oh, Power Trip, by the way. Power Trip is an underrated band that you should absolutely go watch. Love Power Trip. And Arch Enemy. Their lead singer once flirted with me. It was very awkward.
Joel, have you heard the song Creep by Smashing Pumpkins?
One time. I think we did an interview with the guy once.
So none of these bands perform Creep.
I think Filter
I don't actually know what they perform.
Would you like me to play some music?
Metal.
I don't know who most of these bands are. I've never really heard of any of them. Okay, I'm going to switch my Wi-Fi here. It's very bad right now. Hold on.
That's fine. Corrosion of Conformity, they rule. There's a lot of really good stuff on this. I don't know. Listen, if you're going to be in Ohio, May 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, go see Sonic Temple. It's an arts and music festival. There's some really good stuff on this thing. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Bloodstock in Donington, but back when now it's the Download Festival. And it used to be Donington Castle Festival. If you go on Friday,
am I back?
Yeah, you're back. If you go on Friday, you can hear Rob Zombie sing Dragula. You like that? Or Never Gonna Stop, Edge's old theme?
So I am going on Friday. That's a day I'm going. I actually did a karaoke to Dragula. So I actually have heard of that song through karaoke.
Bring you on stage for a rendition of your own of Dragula.
I did some headbanging, allegedly. There's no video of this. Nobody posted the video. I don't know who these bands are. I don't know what songs they do. But I'm going to listen to all of this stuff.
Hell yeah.
I might not come back from this, everybody.
You'll come back from it. I think you're going to have a good time.
What is acacia strain?
Acacia
Is that a
strain.
drug?
The acacia
That sounds like a
strain?
drug.
That may have
That's a
been
drug.
All right, sure.
That's a weed strain.
Oh, everything's a weed strain if you try hard enough. There's some really good bands on this, and I think you'll.
What?
I think if anything, you're gonna actually really love it because you're gonna go with your wife, and she's gonna have.
You have a warped sense of my actual music taste. If you think,
Oh no, I'm well
gonna
aware.
love some of this stuff.
No, my point is not that you are going to have a great time because of the music. I think you're going to have a great time because your wife's going to have a great time. And if your
Yes.
wife has a great time, you will also enjoy the time that's had because, I know that people like the happy wife, good, happy wife, happy life. But like, I think it's also really fun to enjoy the things that your partner is into at least once in a while, get to at least be in that world. My wife would come to my shows once in a while. She is not a music fan, but she would come and enjoy herself and she'd get to see me work, and that's fun.
That sounds terrible.
No, it was fun once in a while because it'd be like at a party or at a casino gig or whatever. And she could do other things with her friends, but then come and like see a set. If I'm working like 3-4 sets in a night, that's 45 minutes of like her entire night that she could be doing anything else. But she comes and hangs out. But point is, you go to the festival. It's a good time. There's a lot of stuff. I'm being asked if I want to come too. I'd love to come. I got to ask my friends if they want to bring me in to work that type of show because I don't know if I could do that without any reasoning other than I'm going to the shows. See if my buddy's working the Power Trip show. That's probably what he's going to do. And then do some Defender of the Riff.
You are correct in that I will enjoy my wife's enjoyment because when she saw this thing and she saw Acid Bath, the way she just lit up. She wasn't this excited marrying me, which fair. But she's like, babe, Acid Bath. I'm like, okay, let's get the tickets, whatever they cost. The fees are god awful.
Yes, that is the worst part about festival purchases. The fees are out of this world.
But no hesitancy on my part. Like, all right, we will get these tickets. We will go to this festival. I will watch these bands. I will attempt to. She's trying to defend her name of like, I was very excited to marry you. You're lying about like photographical evidence that like wasn't that excited,
Oh, she was happy. I was there. I can lend credence to that. It was a happy
Creed,
day.
good band. Where the fuck is Creed in this lineup? Why don't they have any good bands?
They turned down the gig with arms wide open.
Man, if Creed was there, I'd be excited.
Well, here's an important question because she's standing next to you. And can you relay the question? Will you be in the mosh pit for Acid Bath?
Will you be in the mosh pit for Acid Bath?
No, I will get destroyed.
No.
All right, she understands. She understands her limits.
She's tiny, Joel.
I know, I understand. Listen, I've seen some tiny people, men and women, and everything else, go into a mosh pit. Some people.
What if I mosh? You think I could get it? You think I can mosh?
Yeah, I think you can mosh. You might want to be a little careful, but I'm sure you could do it.
I get
You
injured.
gotta also understand. You got to understand how the mosh pit works. It's a community vibe. You get knocked down, you help each other out. Like everyone, you're looking after each other. Yeah, you're slam dancing. You're gonna hit each other. You're not gonna punch each other, but like you're gonna run into each other. But you get knocked down, that person helps you back up, and everyone's happy. At least that's the way it's supposed to be. You'll have some scars. You will. You might bleed, but it's a mosh pit. You could try it.
When I get knocked down, I try to get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
Yeah, it's right at the same time as Zavada's like, sing Tub Thumping. I was thinking about it, believe me, but I wasn't going to go there. Yeah, got knocked down. Oh, yeah, there you go. Would you throw down in the Taylor Swift mosh pit?
That's what I'm
Taylor
Swift
Swift
show up.
If Taylor Swift started a wall of death, you and Denise would be like first.
Oh, we'd be there.
Line.
We'd be there in a heartbeat. Kidding me?
I'd love
it's a wall of love, though, not death.
Yeah. No, it's a wall. It's a wall of death. I'd love to see Taylor Swift. I want this side. I want this side. I want to see you two form a wall of death. And on 3, I want to see you. Oh, I would love to see Taylor Swift go into her metal era.
I'm gonna show up with a Taylor Swift Reputation shirt.
Yo, I guarantee you people would actually love that. No, metal fans, I think some people understand, but maybe you don't understand yet because you're not in that world. But like metal fans are pretty good about that stuff. You know, they might like make a joke, but overall they'll be like, hey man, like what you like. There's so many types of metal and so much type of music out there. Like everyone's there to see something else. Someone would probably be like, hell yeah, I'm a Swiftie too. But also I love Cannibal Corpse. It's gonna happen. So you should go in a Swiftie shirt. I think so.
Ooh, look what you made me do! Look what you made me do! Look what you made me do! All
right. Well, now I'm starting to completely.
I got it right. That was good, right?
I don't think you should do that then.
Come on! I feel like all the metalheads would love me.
There are metal covers of Swift songs. Of course there are. There are metal covers of every song out there. All you got to do is, go searching for it. They exist, 100%. Yeah, like Ryan Lambert's in the chat saying he's worn, Britney Spears and Kesha t-shirts and all that stuff. You can do it. Absolutely. You can go ahead and we wear all different types of shirts at a metal show. As long as you're not wearing like anything that has some Nazi paraphernalia, you'll be okay. Otherwise, the metalheads will go after you, rightfully so.
I definitely ain't.
I know you're not, but there are certain people out there who would do something so awful. Don't be that person. Anyway. You'll have so much fun at this concert, at this festival. It's not even a concert because there are so many other things happening outside. Yeah, there will be so many things happening outside of the actual performances. There will be art, there will be entertainment, there will be booths of all different sorts of stuff. So you'll probably find ways to have
balloon fun. Animals.
I mean, listen, they might. It'd be very fun if they did.
I'm gonna get my face painted.
You should. You do it like Kiss.
Nah.
Which Kiss member would you get face painted as?
What popular songs? The Love Gun.
That not nice try though.
I know.
Although someone did do, if you said that to someone, they probably painted penis on your face.
Yeah.
You the ITW demon. The demon's going to be in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet this weekend.
I hope so. He rules.
Every year he's got to come back just for that spot. You were saying something. You were about to say you're gonna do something with face paint.
I don't know what kind of face paint I do. Can I get the Sting?
The Sting. That would be fun.
Just get the Sting.
Should get the Derby.
Okay.
Get the Derby with
the half. Do the half and half. Yeah.
Would you get the hand painted on your face too? Anyway,
that's a good shout. That's a good shout, Ryan. I just write it off as get an expense, but Motionless in White. I'm gonna interview them. I don't know. Maybe we could get them on the show. Probably not.
I can talk to some people if we really want.
Really?
I'm sure I could. Believe it or not, I had some pretty good connections in music before I
do believe it. We should get this going here.
It's very frustrating to me when I look for meaningful full-time employment and I see things that I'm like, well, I can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that, for multiple reasons. One is I'm not a director of things, and the other one being I don't live in the United States, nor do I want to. So being a musician in Canada who has connections in the States is the biggest pain in the ass right now. Yeah, Chris Motionless. Talk about wrestling.
Okay, let's try to get him.
Well, some conversations. Listen, the show that you're doing isn't until May, but
I assume they got other shows going on before then.
They might. I mean, the tour cycles for all these bands are so different now than like before the pandemic. Tour cycles went really wonky because of costs of touring.
Yeah.
Let me take a look. They are on the road. Well, that's weird. Okay, they're doing Wilkes-Barre for Halloween weekend, and then they're going to Brazil for a show, and then they're off until January when their European tour starts, and that runs until probably till they come back to do. Yeah, Sonic Temple is their first U.S. show back, May the 8th on the Thursday.
All right,
So
let's.
they come back. They come back from Helsinki on the 25th of February. So there you go. All right. I'm not moving to Florida. No way in hell, chat.
Sounds
Am I ever
awful.
moving to Florida? Nope.
Sounds
I wouldn't do that on my best day. Wouldn't do it on my worst day. Wouldn't do it any type of day you can ever think of. What I would do, however, is move on to our next topic.
What's our next topic?
Jon Moxley should have run over all those dorks with his truck.
Oh, he wasn't driving. Marino was driving.
Marina Shafir should have run over all those dorks in their truck. The man's not above committing murder or attempted murder. Tell me I'm wrong, Jeremy. The man has put bags around the heads of wrestlers.
Yeah.
He's not above murder. Why didn't Moxley run over these people?
Well, again, he was not driving. He came in through the back door.
Didn't we all, baby? Didn't we all? Anyway, what do you think of the closing angle for the show? There were a lot of closing angles. There was the Moxley taking out Chuck Taylor, and just before that, there was the revelation the Private Party are going to face the Young Bucks, and if they lose, Private Party's going to disband. That is probably where I would have cut the cord and been like, all right, we're good. This was the one thing that I really didn't enjoy about Dynamite this week. We talked about, taking things slowly and making sure that you have the beats to move certain stories forward. It felt like we did a little too much beat making this week, and certain things didn't breathe. This was the most egregious one in my opinion, and that was you have a tag team that's been established and has been around AEW for 5 years plus at this point, that are going after the tag team champions, who are the EVPs of the company, who are currently, holding those tag titles hostage, whatever you want to say. They're not giving them the match. And to get the match, they put the most important thing they have on the line, and that is their status as a tag team. That's a pretty big deal. But unfortunately, we didn't leave it alone at that point. We then had to have Moxley show up and beat up Chuck Taylor, who had shown up earlier in the night. And I was like, oh, they're going to beat up Chuck Taylor. And they did. And now Chuck Taylor's dead. RIP Chuck Taylor.
Well, just wait till next week when Private Party either wins the tag team titles or splits up, and then Moxley murders one of them. So,
oh, poor Mark Quinn.
It did feel like, okay, they did that, and then they immediately jumped into the Moxley stuff. It's like, I probably would have left that sit a little bit more instead of, we're gonna break up. And now we're going to immediately have Jon Moxley kill somebody. Like, I like the closing angle. I like the Moxley stuff. It did make me almost forget that Private Party is putting their partnership on the line next week. And it felt a little, I don't want to say, it felt a little disconnected of, I know they're still going after the tag team titles, and that should be a concern. It doesn't feel like anything else should be a concern but the Jon Moxley stuff. Like that's one thing I really wish it was a bigger part of, again, just the overall show. I did like everybody standing out back and, oh yeah, here we go. We're ready for them to pull up. We're ready to fight. It should have covered all the exits. I mean, clearly there's more entrances and exits to that arena instead of just the parking lot, but what can you do? I wish it would be just a bigger overarching thing. I wish we would have more people just kind of mention it, just kind of say something about it. So that way, how big of a deal this is. The fact that like Garcia and Private Party are also, we care about these tag team titles and we care about this TNT title, but we've also got to fight Jon Moxley. It's like, man, just put all your energy into this. And that's what I do like about the Orange Cassidy stuff, is like, that's sort of where he's at right now. He is saying, he doesn't want to be the leader. He doesn't want to be the face of the company, despite people saying this. And like, that's his energy. whether he wants them to be there or not, that's where he is at. Where other people are getting pulled in so many directions that it makes certain stuff come off less than. And I don't know if you want in this angle, you want things to come off less than. You don't want the private party split to come off less than the Moxley stuff. And you don't want the Moxley stuff to come off less than the private party split. So I wish there was just more of a honed in focus for all of this. But all that said, I thought the closing angle was great. I love Orange Cassidy. I'm glad that Orange Cassidy is kind of the focal point for the time being of this angle, because I've always thought that he should be that guy. Like I've said this for the longest time, that Orange Cassidy is like their top guy. And I was legitimately surprised that at Wrestle Dream when I tweeted like, oh, he's never had a singles match for the world title. Lo and behold, looks like he's about to have a singles match for the world title. And they're kind of telling the story of him being the face, whether he wants to be or not. I like that. I would like to have a little bit more from others and less focus elsewhere.
Now, AEW did release some extended footage from Wednesday night. Daniel Garcia and Orange Cassidy having a bit of a disagreement, and Orange Cassidy saying he's going to take care of this. I'm sure you've seen this, and I don't know if our chat has seen it or people listening to us have seen it. Your thoughts on this coming out on a Thursday, or at least just after the show had aired on a Wednesday, and people are asking, what's next? What are we doing? Was this beneficial for AEW storytelling? Was this a problem? Should they be playing this maybe on Saturday on Collision and again on Wednesday? How often should this be out there? That Orange Cassidy showed not only remorse at the end of the show, but also a bit of a streak, an angry streak, not even angry, maybe just a frustrated annoyance towards what's going on in his world right now in AEW.
Well, they put it on socials, which is good. I'm not going to criticize them for not putting it on any of the shows yet, because they've had no other shows. If they aired on Rampage and they aired on Collision, then they've done their job. So for right now, I think just putting it on social, because they ran out of time. So just putting it up of like, hey, here's the aftermath is a good thing. Now, yeah, air this on Collision. And if they do, awesome. They did exactly what they needed to do. I imagine, don't know this for certain, I imagine they will air this on Collision, and then they will set that up with Orange Cassidy is going to be live on Dynamite. And then we'll go from there. And if that's what happens, that's exactly what should happen.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't trying to set that up as someone should bury AEW for doing it. It was more of this was the choice they made. Is this going to play out properly? And like you said, we can't get pre-mad because we don't know what they're going to put on the air on Saturday or again on Wednesday, but it's out there. I like that they're going to try to put it out there and try to make it a thing. I just hope that they draw the proper attention to it on their television program, because again, my biggest, is it a concern? Is it a complaint? I don't know. But when it comes to AEW and storytelling, is that sometimes things are left to be exclusively online and then not brought into the television world, which is where I would like to see them incorporate it more, is on the television program, so that people who maybe don't spend their time online get caught up with the stories that are happening outside of TV time. And I'm not talking about Chris Jericho. We already did that one.
So A-Shock asking, should all storylines stop for Mox? Would it show urgency or focus too much on it? You don't have to stop the storylines for Jon Moxley, but they've very much identified the certain group who is targeting Jon Moxley, or the group that Moxley is targeting, however you want to look at it. Daniel Garcia, Private Party, Dark Order, Orange Cassidy, partially
kind of
conglomeration. Yeah. Top Flight. Like, they've identified these are the guys that are kind of stepping up to them. So it's not so much that the rest of the show needs to focus. Will Ospreay has his own gripes with stuff. Swerve Strickland has his own gripes with stuff. Adam Cole has his own gripes with stuff. I would like it to be mentioned by them. Daniel Garcia had the tweet, maybe he's deleted it by now, but he had the tweet of, these are the people willing to fight. Don't ask if you're asking, well, where's this person? Why isn't this person part? Like, go ask them. They're not, that's on them. like I do think it should be mentioned by some of these people to show the gravity of it. You can say like, I see what's going on. I'm also dealing with my own stuff. Now, when it comes to guys like Private Party and Daniel Garcia, this is where I think there should be kind of the honed in focus from them and not so much on the Elite, because the Elite aren't the threat right now. They're mad at the Elite because they're not helping out, but the Elite, they should just be like, all right, bugger off. You guys don't want to fight? Fine. You guys want to run do your dumb stuff? Go do your dumb. We're here to fight for AEW. You're either going to come around with it or you're not, but we're going to be here. What they shouldn't be doing is being like, hey, we're going to split up if we can't beat you. That seems disconnected from we're unified to fight against Jon Moxley.
Yeah. That's the one thing is earlier, Ace had asked, should MVP have stopped doing what he's doing? Like, should MVP care? No, MVP I don't think should care, because MVP just came in and his attempt at dominance in AEW is not currently focused on the title or AEW. It's focused on Swerve. This is their preliminary story is not connected to what's going on with Moxley. But like you said, what's going on with Private Party, that's connected to the Moxley story. And therefore, so is the tag titles. The tag titles are on the group that aren't doing anything about Moxley. So they're in this weird, like, they gotta do one thing, but they can't step over each other. And they did with the we're going to disband. And you've got the Stokely story that's also off on the periphery with Private Party, because he has made himself known as someone who wanted to manage Private Party. And then he told Isaiah Cassidy, you're the better of the two. So that could also turn into something. I hope it doesn't, but we'll see where it goes. So there's just there's some points that are being stepped on along the way that I think they could clear up. And you see here and there, they're trying, but they got to figure out what that looks like. They got to figure out what that's supposed to be. And I don't know where it is, because here's another point that I want them to clear up. And I know some people have given other shit about this when they brought it up. Renee is still someone who works in the company and is directly involved with her husband in some way, shape, or form. This is pro wrestling. You said it earlier. You can make the characters. You book the show. You make it work. Renee can easily come out and just be like, I understand Renee Paquette has something she wants to say, and they do a backstager, and she's standing there with like Tony Schiavone or Tony Khan or someone who is very important in AEW, so that she can say, I understand some of you know that Moxley, John and I are together. We have a child. We love each other very much. But right now, I cannot condone what he's been doing. We've decided for the time being to split up. I've been sleeping in the guest house, or I've been with my mother. Whatever.
Oh, this sounds terrible.
Yes. In kayfabe, you can break them up for the time being, because right now, Moxley is an attempted murderer on screen. He is a piece of shit human being. And this way, Renee, all the heat gets off of her. They need to do something. Why do I go as far as saying that they've kayfabe broken up? Because it's wrestling and you can get away with it, and people will know. And listen, for people like us, the people like Sean Ross Sapp, the people like Mike Johnson, the people who are the scoopsters, they can easily go into a Discord or go into a Fightful Select article and just be like, no, they're not actually broken up. This is for the sake of the storyline. And people would forgive it, because that's what we do in wrestling, is we suspend our disbelief. And you can do that for a story like this, so that we can move on from the overarching question of, why does this man's wife not have any feeling about what's going on with this? You can't just ignore it, because then people like me are going to continue to pull at it and be like, what the fuck are we doing here? It doesn't work.
I agree. You can't ignore it. I said this on the first show Jon Moxley came back, where he was like, this is not your company anymore. And then you immediately cut to Renee, who is like, anyway, I'm here with the conglomeration. It's like, wait a second. Your husband, who has been off television for months, comes back and is like a completely different person and is threatening people. And you're just like, no big deal. And they have just ignored it. I don't think you can ignore it. I don't like we're separated for the time being right now. Honestly, and I'm sure they don't want to do this because Renee's
separation does not mean divorce.
I know.
It just mean I can't be in a room with this guy right now because he is not the man that I married. You can add heat to this whole story by doing something like that.
You can. I don't know if people would like that. I understand what you're saying. I just don't know if that hits with the audience at this point. I just don't. I don't know. I think the easier solution is just take Renee off television. Just take her off TV. Just be like, she can't be here right now. She's all. You got a million different interviewers.
This is a good point. CM Punk said during his feud with Drew McIntyre that he hasn't seen his wife in a month. He's been in a hotel because he doesn't like the man that he's become. And people were like, that's bullshit. But for the sake of the story, that's perfect. Because he was such a sadistic piece of garbage. He was focused on one person and not on his home life. That worked, at least for me. And I heard other people who said, at least he tied it up. Because this is a big old fake world that we live in. So you got to figure out when reality and the fakeness work together. And this is one of those things.
A little bit easier to do when one person doesn't work or both people don't work at the company. I think it's a little bit easier to get away with that.
Then give Renee a vacation. Have her go offline for a month. You could do that.
That's what I'm saying. Take her off television. It'll be okay. Like, I love Renee. I think she's great. They got other interviewers who can do the job. Maybe not as good as Renee, but they have other people who can fill that role. And Renee can just take a break from things just to add more to it. And then that's the way to address it. I think that makes more sense than, hey, we're split up, because like they're still showing up to work together. So,
well, there's another couple who are real life showing up to work together, and they're saying they're okay. So you can play off of that in a non-meta way.
What?
The dentist and Adam Cole.
Well, they're not together anymore.
I know that's my point, is that they're not together. But in the interview, Adam Cole did say, well, we're still friends. We still come to work together, so on and so forth. It's a very loose connection that I'm making. But my point is, it was, they've at least established, and that's a reality point, by the way. That's like that. This is in reality, Adam Cole, Britt Baker, they're no longer together. But Adam Cole has said, again, in real life, still friends, still good, still love each other. We're just not together anymore. We still come to work. You can do something like that with Mox and Renee in a kayfabe world.
Much different situations.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm saying the idea is still in the wheelhouse of like, people can still not be friends and come to work and work together. Hell, we had an entire year of AEW reporting where that was exactly the case. And then they gave another TV show just to make it happen. So put Renee on Collision exclusively.
Honestly, like, not the worst idea. Again, there's ways to do this. I do think it should be addressed in some ways, because it is, and I said this on Monday's show, last Monday's show, whatever it was, of what was the co-main event at Wrestle Dream? Chris Jericho and Mark Briscoe. When did they air that Chris Jericho challenge? That was aired at Wrestle Dream after the match. So it either happened during Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson main event, or it happened right after Jon Moxley just killed Bryan Danielson. And who was doing the interview? Renee. You're telling me Renee was not interested in watching her husband be in that main event, or Renee was not like, after that whole thing, shit, my husband just killed somebody, maybe there should be some concern? No, here's Chris Jericho. We're just going to speak with him. Yeah, minor things, but it goes a long way when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, that's why I go.
It sounds like it does sound like, I don't want to make it seem like we're super critical on this. I personally really do enjoy what they're doing. I like what they're trying. It doesn't mean it can't be better, but I do like what they are doing.
And Keyshawn in the chat saying little things matter. And that's not, again, in a world where a lot of people are like, oh, any sort of criticism towards the thing that I like is attacking and therefore anti the thing that I love. When no, it's not. It's actually the idea that this could be better, and here's a way that it could be better. And being better means more people will watch it, and more people might potentially tell their friends about it. I forget what I was talking about with you last time, but it was the idea that, like, when something cool is happening, it was the Breaking Bad analogy. When something cool is happening on Breaking Bad, friends would call their friends and say, oh my God, Walter White just got discovered as sorry, I forgot the name of the character. Heisenberg. He's Heisenberg, and his brother-in-law just found out. Oh my God, you have to see this. Nobody called their friends and said, oh my God, Bryan Cranston is putting on the acting performance of a lifetime, and Dean Norris is also doing a good job. They care about the characters. They care about the storylines. They care about what is going on in the world of AEW week to week. It's not about what's going on outside of the confines. It's about what's going on inside. And if we give ideas that are going to hopefully help the stories inside the bubble, then the idea is that it makes the bubble stronger, and it makes the show better, and it makes people want to tune in and tell their friends to tune in because so-and-so is an excellent wrestler, or so-and-so is doing, the best work they've ever done in their promo, or like they've never seen them so fired up before. Orange Cassidy could have a fire ass promo, and that's going to get some people to be like, whoa, didn't realize that this guy that was called a meme wrestler for 5 years has this in him. And now I want to see him beat the shit out of the guy who's trying to take over AEW. Like there's good opportunity there as long as you try and find those little things.
I think there's also, because it is wrestling and it's not a television show so much, that people have a harder time separating character from real life. And that's why I don't know if you could do hey, we're taking a break type of thing.
We did it for years. We did it for 50 years. We did it for a long time in wrestling. We can't sit here and say kayfabe is dead and then pretend that kayfabe shouldn't exist. I agree that it needs to change given the times, but like the suspension of disbelief, which is not really a real term, can continue to exist. We do this for other television programs. And again, I get it. Wrestling is live 99% of the time. So as a result, we assume that because it's live, that it must be real, but it's not real just because it's live in front of an audience. Soap operas are not real. It's all characters. These people, it's not, for most of these wrestlers, it's not their real names. It's not really how they feel about things in the world. It's turned up to 11. It's not, again, kayfabe is not dead. It's the suspension of disbelief is not dead. It's just we need to find ways to make the suspension of disbelief still matter while we understand what professional wrestling is. It's like this unwritten contract. We all know what this is, but we all play within the confines of what it should be. It's dinner theater. You walk into the room, you eat your dinner, and there's a murder mystery. Nobody actually thinks that somebody murdered someone in the room, but it's up to us in the game to figure out what happened. And then we leave the show afterwards and we say, that was a really good time. Or, that was dog shit and I'm never coming back. And also the prime rib was garbage. That is what wrestling is, at least to me. And I get it. There are so many ways to internalize wrestling, but at its core, wrestling should be a television show that you go in, you see a story, and you try to figure out if the story is good or bad and what works and what doesn't, and there it goes. That's what I got.
I think too many people don't view it that way.
Too many people are wrong, Jeremy Lambert. They're wrong.
But that's the issue. Is there are just so many people who don't view it that way. And there's too many people who get weird about things. And trying to do something like that is going to bring in too many people who get weird about things. There's a difference between Hangman Page hobbling and, faking an injury and selling an injury. Remember Kyle O'Reilly when he did the seizure thing? And then they basically had to come out and say, hey, Kyle O'Reilly's fine. It was just selling all of this. Like that, this is what happens nowadays. People show whether real concern, whether it's genuine, or they show fake outrage concern to where it's got to be told, hey, actually, no, things are good. It's okay. It's all a show. And that's just the reality in 2024.
Then I think that's why more people need to be educated as to how you can be smarter about wrestling. This is always, pulling up the discourse. I have this internal conversation with myself. The idea that professional wrestling is run by a bunch of idiots a lot of the time. And we see it because those idiots show their asses any time you give them a microphone. And then we talk about the discourse of the day, and then everyone goes on to whatever they're going to do. And I think to myself, oh, okay, this is stupid because it's all going to return to the way things were because no one wants to make wrestling better. And then at its core, people are just dumb when it comes to wrestling. And this is mostly people working in the wrestling business. I'm sorry. Some of you are better, but some of you are not. The point I'm trying to make here is that, yeah, there are a lot of idiots in wrestling, but we can make wrestling smarter than it is. You can view it in a different way, and that there should be at least some sort of, again, understanding the unwritten contract that is wrestling and the fandom. Yeah, I don't want to go off on a whole ass tangent about, you know, the way that creators and journalists are being made to be portrayed in wrestling as well. That's a whole separate can of worms. Who's a creator? Who is a journalist? Who wants to be held to an ethical code? Who wants to be treated in a way that is respectful? Or are you looking for softball lobbying questions? What do you want out of your wrestling? But right now it's like, yeah, there are better ways to do a lot of things in wrestling. Leave it at that.
Okay.
Just get a divorce, Renee. Run as far as you can. Run away, Renee.
Too many people are going to take that serious. Let's not.
There will be so many tweets that say, so you're saying I have a chance. There will be people thinking they can shoot their shot and that it's serious. And yes, you're right. It's stupid and people shouldn't feel that way and they shouldn't react that way. But people are going to be stupid and some people are going to just be daft on purpose. Unfortunately, that's part of the problem with the job. There are a lot of stupid people you deal with, but also in your training and in your time as a professional, you're going to have to understand that people are stupid. People are dumb. Some of them are actually in your midst. Not you specifically.
Oh. Zeno Hour was a good comment. Was sad, serious Renee interviews Orange Cassidy. Cassidy tells Renee he doesn't blame her. Yes, and Moxley, she understands. Like, I don't need to go to what Joel was saying. I understand what Joel is saying. I get the, hey, really sell the gravity in the overall situation. I don't think you need to go that far. I do think it's got to be somehow referenced and mentioned that, because they've mentioned their relationship. Somebody asked us, oh, what about like Roddy and Marina? Why isn't Roddy mad at Marina for all of this? Their relationship, from what I recall, hasn't really been referenced on AEW television. Certainly not to the point of Renee and Moxley. That's why I'm a little bit more forgiving of Roddy not caring what the hell Marina is doing. I do think some women should probably care about what Marina is doing, but apparently they don't.
Sorry, I saw Louis. Flashy colors, 4-letter words. Yeet.
Oh man, Sean's gonna come on here and yell at us.
Oh no, I brought out the fun.
He's gonna get all these questions about real life relationships.
That's true.
You're doing,
we're gonna completely change the game now.
Yeah,
I'll let him pop himself on if he wants to do this. It's been a while since we've seen.
We've already spoiled that he's back there, so maybe he's just gonna hang out back there and never come on.
He's gonna hit the brakes when we're not.
Oh, you know what? Before Sean comes on, we got one bite left. Everybody, look at that.
God, he did it.
Half-pound Reese gone. Final bite.
That's amazing.
And there we go. God damn, that's good shit.
God damn, that's good shit. Oh my goodness. Do you feel good? You feel like you got accomplished this time? Sean,
is that juice?
Milk.
I mean, first off, where's Pauly Shore? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was on the show In the Wheeze, and you were wheezing the juice. Perhaps I thought maybe that was the show that I was going to be on. Who did you owe a 10-second car to?
Well, when you live your life a quarter mile at a time, Sean, you really don't have to owe anybody. You know, It's all about the family.
You've got those big headphones on, and they're wired. Why is that?
I've had these for years.
Yeah, he asked me about those when the other ones crapped out. They were a birthday present, were they not?
No, I think I just bought these.
Well, all right then. I don't
like the little headphones like everybody else wears. I like the nice cans
with a wire tethered. He likes the.
I do the big cans when I'm not working. When I'm working, I got my in-ear monitors in, but otherwise, Yeah, I got the big cans like you do.
You know, I got 36 kids, Sean. Sometimes I got to put these
That's true.
headphones on and just
That's true.
block them out for a little while.
Yeah, got to get you some proper noise canceling headphones next. That's
Yeah.
going to be the big one.
36, the same number of strokes your wife takes on any given hole at mini golf.
Yeah, I thought that was going a completely different direction. I'm glad that you got there.
What is
Come
happening
on.
here?
Come on.
Have
What
you
are we
not-
talking?
Have you not seen our show? What are we doing?
Go on. No, not lately.
That's true. Puts us over for the first year, and then the second year hits, and it's like they're on their own.
I kind of wish that I just had the old vehicles that I used to have. That way I could just pull up to people and unsolicited roll down the window, look at them and say, more than you can afford, pal. Ferrari. And I'm in like my Ford Escort station wagon or something.
The guy's just like, what? And you're like, vroom, vroom, motherfucker.
Regardless, I'm going to pull up at a stoplight and go, bullshit, asshole. Nobody likes the tuna here.
Oh,
Man.
how are you doing, Sean? It's been a little while.
I'm okay. I'm here. Interviewed Bronson Reed this morning.
Love that man. He can do no wrong in my books. Did he pull up wearing something nice?
He was wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt, so I would qualify that as being wearing something nice.
Counts for me. I love it.
Did you know
Yeah.
they're political? Did you realize that?
I know that there are a whole lot of people that don't realize that, and then when they realize what they stand for, they get very like butthurt 25 years later.
I was listening to a radio show taking the kids to school the other day, and this person was just like, Eminem, when did he get political? How much did Kamala have to pay him for this endorsement? Everything. I was like, where were you 20 years ago when he did
Yeah.
a whole song saying fuck George Bush? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Damn.
Everyone's political once they realize the politics are not the ones they necessarily agree with.
Fair.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Anyway,
I see that Denise is going to Denver. It must be Will's birthday weekend.
why would anyone go to Denver?
For Will's birthday weekend. So did I tell you guys about my Denver trip where I actually met Will years ago?
Oh, actually, I remember some of this. Go ahead, as you cough instead.
At least he muted himself.
I witnessed a divorce argument in Denver
Oh,
on
yes,
vacation.
yes.
It was bad. It was bad.
Was
like
it mine?
No, but I feel like I was secondhand witness to a lot of that. But I mean, ultimately, listen, hate to tell you this, I'm very happy you got a divorce, but
Same.
your life ended up get way better and you're with somebody way cooler.
I
No
mean,
offense.
my Denver trip did not go well, and it was literally February, July, so whatever the math is on that. 5 months later was the divorce, so yeah,
Yep.
it was about 5 months there.
Well, this one, as I got a message from your wife with a middle finger, this one was record time. I don't want to say record time. From the time we left to the time the woman who invited us was in a new home and divorced was 2 months. So like we saw it never recovered after the argument that we saw. It was that's just something that will never leave me. And it's so funny because we would go on vacations very rarely, and when we did, we would go with some of our friends, and without fail, our friends would argue. And we're like, are we bad luck at this point? So needless to say, the Christmas trip to New York City, we're gonna pass on, going on a friendcation thing there. We'll just meet up with pals.
It's probably a good idea. Hey, see you in March.
See you in March. What am I doing in March?
I don't know. I just figured maybe I'll see you maybe I'll see you in March. How's that? You want to come hang out in March?
What's this about?
Sounds terrible.
What
is this about?
You want to come and hang out in March?
Why would anybody want to hang out with Joel at any time of the year? That's what I want to know.
Oh, it could be fun. I mean, there are plenty of things to do in Toronto in March.
It's debatable.
That's true. Oh God,
I don't know what you mean.
If they do a TNA show in March in Toronto.
Well, I'm about to leave and go to 127 West Tiverton in Lexington because my friends at Toy Vomit are opening their new location. I'm very excited for that. If you are watching this, please check them out. This is not, I mean, it is an ad, but it's not an ad. I just like them an awful lot. If you are like, man, why would I ever check that out? Danhausen has a vlog on it. Ethan Page has a vlog on it. Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. They have an insane collection. I'm going to go check them out in their new location momentarily. You can follow them on Instagram at Toy Vomit, as Captain Peter Quinn brings up.
It's a great place.
But it is.
Go
Catch you guys later.
Have fun.
Bye, Sean.
The one and only Sean Ross Sapp.
Can't believe you didn't ask him about Moxley and Renee's divorce.
Alleged. The problem is the second that people, they're gonna be like, hey, what? They'll be like, no, stop, please, just rewind 20 minutes.
Folks, we did it. Redemption. The Reese Cup is gone.
Hey, what happened to the other half cup that you have from
Feel pretty
Wednesday?
good. Oh, I finished that off last night.
Oh, good for you. So you had a cup and a half in about 12 hours.
No, it was about like 7 o'clock last night or something. No, man.
About 16 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, you are going to be in diabetic shockwave later on.
It's been, let's call it, since the start of the show Wednesday to just before Sean came on. It was, I had 2.5 pounds. I had a full pound. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Well, congratulations. Maybe I'll have my half-pound cup later.
Thank you.
Ring here.
We did it. I got the redemption. I feel much better. I actually feel terrible. I'm going to throw up after the show. That'll be fun.
I've been told that you are going to, quote, become a Reese's cup.
There's a lot of Reese cups in my freezer right now. There's a lot.
Everyone's getting those but me.
You were the first person to get them. And you let them sit for 2 years.
Yeah, and I eat them. They're there. I have one left. Can't send Cassidy Haynes a bunch of them and not send me any of these. I see you, Ryan. He's proud. Be prouder.
Cassidy's like cool though.
Yeah, it's fair. He is. I mean, I don't know if cool is the word I would use. He is a wrestling fan after all.
Nah, Cass is definitely cool. Yeah,
he's all right. No, nobody likes wrestling fans.
Cass rules.
Fair. What else is left from this whole mishmash of wrestling?
There's like 800 shows this weekend, Joel. We're apparently supposed to preview them.
I mean, we have Halloween Havoc is on Sunday. Bound for Glory is on Saturday. Crescent Star, Steven Jensen and I will be live after Bound for Glory on Saturday on the main channel talking about that show. Halloween Havoc, Kate and Alex will be live after the show on the main channel on Sunday going over that show. We got to talk about this for a second. We got to talk about this Frankie Kazarian referee.
Wow, God.
Did you hear the reason as to why Frankie Kazarian was made the special guest referee for Bound for Glory? Did you watch the show? Did you watch the show last night? You're better off if you didn't, and it's okay.
Joel, I don't know if you know this. I'm a sports fan. I like the Colorado Avalanche and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes.
Both of them played last night.
Okay.
That's what I watched.
Sometimes you do this wonderful thing called multitasking. And when you do those multitasking things, you see...
Yeah, I multitask when I don't have to watch TNA.
Frankie Kazarian comes out during the main event, double contract signing, and he says, hey, you know why I'm the referee? Because I went over your head. Says this to Santino Marella. And he says, I went over your head and I went to Anthem executives and I said, I have tenure here in TNA because I'm an original. Right? And Anthem said, yes, sir. Okay, you can be the special guest referee.
And then he got dorked out in the opening match, losing to AJ Francis.
Well, that's to build off the idea that he's going to be number 1 and call your shot, and AJ Francis is going to be number 20. So the guy, I will give TNA this. They got the one guy directly connected to Joe Henry as the number 1, as the number 20 entrant and call your shot, and they've got the guy connected to the main event as the number 20 and number 1 in the call your shot gauntlet. So like they're finding a way to at least sandwich those. I'll give them that. But the way that they explained Kazarian getting the special guest referee position was absolute bullshit. And then Kazarian goes through a table to end the night. It was not good. And the explanation of Frankie Kazarian being a special guest referee in the main event continues to make zero sense. And at this point, I need JBL to come out and win the call your shot gauntlet. And then win the TNA World Championship at the end of the night. It's not good.
anything else from TNA Bound for Glory that you'd like to talk about?
Be very excited for Speedball versus Vikingo. It'll be 5.5 stars, and Speedball retains.
You think Speedball wins?
Yeah, I do. It's his first defense with the title since winning it back from Zachary Wentz. His first like true, pay-per-view defense.
Are they gonna strap up? Are they gonna strap up Joe Hendry? Are they gonna finally do it?
Starting to think. Okay, I don't know if this concert that they're promoting with Jeff Hardy and Joe Hendry is for the TV tapings or for afterwards. If it's for the TV tapings, then yes, they're going to strap up Joe Hendry, because it would be very silly to have a loser be playing guitar with the new tag team champion for a television show. Like, it wouldn't make sense.
Watch the losers that rule.
And listen, the Hardys are going to win, and there's multiple reasons why. They've heavy-handed that shit. And plus, the TV tapings, they're going to Detroit. They're going to be Detroit for Bound for Glory, and then 2 weeks after that. Then they're going to be taping for 2 nights, which is 4 weeks in Fayetteville, which is North Carolina, right? They're going to be, Fayetteville. They're going to be North Carolina for that. And then you've got the WrestleCade show, and that's also North Carolina, and that's Hardy country. So they're going to have a solid 5 shows, 5 weeks of television where the Hardys are like super over and they're excited to see them. It makes sense to have the TNA tag titles on the Hardys, at least until WrestleCade. But the Joe Hendry thing, this is an overbooked main event. It's beyond overbooked. You've got AJ Francis with the call your shot stuff. He's part of it. You've got Frankie Kazarian. You've got the JBL influence. You've got now Santino Marella as part of this whole thing, because he's upset that someone went over his head to become the special guest referee, and he used the Cobra on Frankie Kazarian. So now that could be used against him. There's so many things that they're just making up as they go along, it feels like, to get to this mishmash overblown main event where, if Hendry wins, he'd have to go through all this stupid bullshit overbooked stuff just to get there, and it's not going to be impactful. Instead, if Hendry loses, he's going to have dealt with all this overbooked bullshit that they have to book it again, and hopefully he finally wins it. So I don't think that Joe Hendry's going to win. I just don't anymore.
Really?
I've gone back and forth enough times that I just don't know, because I'm looking again. If that concert is going to be live for an audience on TV, then Hendry has to win. But if it's not, maybe they don't, and they're just going to honey dick you for another few months.
Joe Hendry's got to win this title. You can't close this show with. I mean, I know Nick Nemeth is like.
Oh, they love him. They love Nick. They love him.
Yeah, I know he's a baby face as well, but man, you can't have this man lose again. You just can't.
If you're watching the show on Saturday, pay attention. There's 2 matches you really need to pay attention to for the main event. That's going to be Macklin and Alexander, and Moose and Santana. Those will heavily influence where your mind should be going into the main event, because one of those 4 men that I just mentioned are going to be the next challenger for the TNA World Championship.
Aren't they all heels outside of Santana?
No, Macklin is a babyface and Santana is a babyface. They turned Macklin babyface, which it's not bad. I'm actually quite a fan of.
Macklin's always been a babyface in my book.
In your book. Well, now if you watch him, you'll actually be able to cheer with everyone else and then feel good about it.
No, now everybody else is just jumping on the bandwagon. You were an original OG Steve Macklin fan. Yeah,
that's fair. I became a fan of him, in Vegas. That's when we got.
He still doesn't like you.
That's fair. I can't blame him. I don't like him either. Don't let him see this. But those are the 2 matches that if you're going to pay attention to anything going to the main event, those are the ones. But
what if Frankie Kazarian wins the title?
I mean, he could. If he wins the call your shot, then he gets to hang that over everyone's head, and they do. But that's the 2021 call your shot finish again, where Moose beat Alexander after Alexander beat Christian Cage. And when I called that, people were so upset with me, just like you calling Chris Jericho on all those times. When I called the Moose title victory, people were not happy. And I was I told you this a month in advance. This is the one thing I did mention when I did the True Heel Heat preview. By the way, go check that out. Chad Talks Wrestling and SB3 and we previewed the show over on True Heel Heat. The call your shot gauntlet, those 2 men that I mentioned, AJ Francis and Frankie Kazarian, they could be red herrings to this whole thing, and you can have another woman win like you did with Jordan Grace last year. My shout was Killer Kelly, because Masha Slamovich has been talking about her a lot lately in different interviews that she's done. Does that mean that they're hinting that she's coming back? No, but she has a movie that just came out. They're doing press with it. Oh, Killer Kelly's pregnant. Never mind. So she's not winning.
What if the main event, it's Joe Hendry, it's Nick Nemeth, right? That's the main event. Here comes
That
old
is presumably the main event.
Here comes JBL, and he clotheslines Joe Hendry, and Frankie Kazarian's like, yeah, sure. He's fine. He's not gonna DQ anybody. And then Nick Nemeth is all excited. But then JBL clotheslines Frankie Kazarian. Or sorry, he clotheslines Nick Nemeth. Both men are down and both men are out. And Frankie Kazarian cashes in his call your shot gauntlet. And he stacks Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry. And he counts his own pinfall because he's the referee as well. And he's the champion. And he hands the title to JBL. And the closing shot of TNA Bound for Glory 2024 is JBL and Frankie Kazarian holding up the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
Brother, the Heat, fully raised, booking the territory. That's why I said maybe
that's what I'm rooting for. Who could possibly care?
JBL wins the call your shot. JBL buys the call your shot off of Yeah, TNA champion.
Look, man, if this show doesn't end with JBL as the champion, it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
that's what I'm deciding.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
Chris Jericho.
Honestly, listen, people love the entertainment, so maybe if JBL wins, people will be much more willing to shell out their super chats during the show. But it's going to be, listen, there are a lot of things that are going to be fun on the show. I'm looking forward to Tamasha and Jordan Grace. That's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to a lot of different things that'll happen. It'll be a fun and different show. It's just that main event has a lot of potential, but it also has a lot of potential to be bad as much as it is potential to be really good. And again, Speedball versus Vikingo, that's going to be the wrestling match of the night. Straightforward. Like flippy flop of the night, you know. I think Macklin and Alexander actually will be the wrestling match of the night. I think Moose is going to beat Santana, by the way. Because I think they're going to be doing more. I think they'll be doing either a dog collar match or some sort of chain match with those two. Because they keep bringing out the chain Santana keeps bringing out the chain. That thing's got to come into play at one point in a match structure.
Okay. I don't have anything to add on TNA Bound for Glory.
That's fine. I'm good. I got it. I said what I need to say. I don't know if you have anything to add about Halloween Havoc. There's a whole bunch of weird special matches, and Thea Hale's going to run over someone with an ambulance.
Hell yeah. Thea Hale's going to murder Ridge Holland. I cannot friggin' wait.
We gotta have a conversation right now. I know Maggie's in the chat. Maggie was putting over a whole lot of NXT women on your show yesterday.
Yeah.
And she made absolutely zero reference to the GOAT, Thea Hale.
Okay.
I don't like that. Thea Hale should be in everyone's conversation. She should be in everyone's number one contender, should be the champion conversation every single time. I don't know why you don't sleep on Thea Hale. Don't ignore her.
I agree, Joel. Like, what are you getting mad at me?
Bring her up. Why didn't you? You are the purveyor of Thea. Why didn't you bring her up more?
Because I was letting Maggie cook. You know, Maggie's got her favorites. That's fine. I get it too. Thea Hale, she's not being featured the way she should be featured. She's being a little bit overlooked right now. So I get it.
Next time we'll get it. By the way, we had a super chat earlier from Tyler Brown saying start with Cannibal Corpse live on the air. For all the music you're going to be listening to heading up to May in that big show.
What is Cannibal Corpse?
Oh, you'll love Cannibal Corpse.
Will I?
Oh yeah, you'll love them. Absolutely. Yeah, Zarya fears Thea Hale. Absolutely.
Cannibal Corpse. Ugh.
Oh yeah, so much screaming. It makes so good. If we could have Thea Hale on In the Weeds, we would love it. We would live for it.
Great.
Yes,
I'll try.
Absolutely.
I'll try.
Could we? That would be just the best. That's all I want.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try.
Anything else that you need to cover from Halloween Havoc upcoming? There's a world title match. There is a North American women's title match. There is a North American title match. There is no tag team championship match. But instead we get an ambulance match because everyone loves an ambulance. Wee-oo, wee-oo. Sorry, that was Jeff Jarrett.
So Ethan Page, Trick Williams. It's a Devil's Playground match, right?
Should be a battle rap competition.
That would rule, actually. What if Eminem shows up to Denver instead of? Isn't that where the show is this weekend? Where's the show?
Denver. No, they're in Hershey, Pennsylvania for
Oh,
Halloween.
they're in Pennsylvania. Sorry.
Yeah, we're stuck on Denver because we
That was where No Mercy was too.
Yes,
No Mercy.
yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay, so Thea Hale, or Jesus, Eminem's going to show
always,
up.
Always in your head.
Eminem's going to show up to Philadelphia instead of Detroit.
Can I just say, Joe Hendry, God bless you for two reasons. One, you did the whole Eminem should show up to Bound for Glory thing. And then when you realized Eminem's not coming, you pivoted to Stone Cold Steve Austin, please come and stand in my corner at Bound for Glory because Mick Foley said that's what I should do. You're just dropping every single SEO name you can. God bless. You know the game. You're out there doing it. My favorite was the quote where Joe is like so apprehensive. He's like, I don't know how to say this. I got to say it right. I got to say this right. If I don't say it right, then the people are going to misunderstand me. But we're closer today than we were before. And the partnership with WWE has absolutely let me to be able to put these things out there. And And I'm just thinking like, Joe, you're just trying to tell us that you went from 0% to 2%. That's all you've done here.
That's a little maybe 0.2%.
That's fair. Well, I say 2%. I actually said 5% on the True Heel Heat show because he at least got all of the Eminem Stan accounts to retweet his invitation.
Yeah.
For me, that gets me up to a 5% because some of those accounts have some pretty good numbers. So at least they get people talking about it. Does not mean at all that Eminem is coming or going to be even remotely interested in coming out to the show. Hell, you sent the Hardys and Joe Hendry to the Pistons game. And what did you say there under the Chiron? You Joe Hendry, Matt, Jeff Hardy, professional wrestlers. You couldn't say TNA wrestlers. You couldn't say TNA Bound for Glory this weekend. Like, come on, man. Professional.
Pistons, it
was a Pistons game. That's true.
Yeah, Pistons gonna suck.
Unarmed. Anyway, sorry.
So here we go. Ethan Page, Trick Williams, right?
Yes.
They're fighting each other. It's going well. CM Punk comes out. And he hits the go to sleep on Ethan Page. But then Trick Williams, it's a trick. And he hits the go to sleep on Trick Williams. And CM Punk stacks him. And JBL comes out and he pins both of them. And then JBL closes Halloween Havoc. TNA World title in one hand. NXT World title on the other hand.
The partnership
JBL, baby. The unified NXT champion.
This is just like when Jeff Hardy won the Immortal Championship. Oh, this is better than that. Let's go. Jeremy lives for stacking. Call Jeremy a stack of pancakes. He'll smash them.
Don't call me that at all. That sounds awful.
Call for a stack of pancakes.
That sounds terrible.
Brother, the NXT champion. John Brad, NXT JBL. There's so many letters. You got to fit the entire alphabet in there. Oh man, that's going to be fun. So you got that. Collision is also happening. They've announced a few matches already, which is nice. I don't know what they are because honestly, I'm going to be covering the TNA show that night.
I'll tell you what they are. Do you want to know what they are?
Sure, why not? I was going to pull them up anyway.
FTR against La Faction Renobrable.
La Facción Ingobernables, for those who don't speak it. Good luck to Roosh getting a pin over Cash Wheeler. And then the
Dax always takes the pinfalls. Dax always takes the falls.
Hey man, you got to change it up once in a while. Roosh is like, I want that one. And then the Outrunners will come out and they'll set up something.
Okay. And the other match, Leo Rush against Ricochet. It's Ricochet weekend on TNT, according to Tony Khan, because Ricochet faces Nick Wayne tonight, and then he faces Leo Rush on Saturday.
Good for them.
And he might appear on Sunday. Where? When? I don't know. It might show up.
He's everywhere. He is omnipotent, is Ricochet. Because he is out of this world. as he likes to tell everyone.
Yeah, that line sucks.
They gotta deprogram Ricochet from the WWE style of promo because he's one step away from saying I'm Ricochet and I'm awesome. Like he's gotta pull it back, buddy. Just stop doing the out of this world thing. Somebody told him just keep going. Just not.
Every time he says it, he's like, you know why? I'm Ricochet. I'm not all right, dude. I get it. Yeah. And like it's become, I feel like it's a bit, so like I laugh at it but I could see other people just getting very annoyed at it. I think it's hilarious. It's such a goofy, dumb line, but like I'm for it.
It's boss time. Anyway, I do appreciate. So they've announced that Mariah May and Anna Jay is going to happen on Collision on the 2nd of November. So not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. I like that they're at least giving you something ahead of time, and that they've kind of they've split off the women's championship story in terms of matches from the TBS championship story. So you got Chris Stat versus Kamille coming up at Fright Night, and that's Dynamite. And then you've got the women's world championship match happening on Collision. I know that, listen, it's not a big match, but they've at least put something behind it with Anna Jay, giving a little bit of heat to it. It's a good Collision main event. Give it a lot of time. It could be a lot of fun. So I do appreciate that in them kind of separating their two titles and making one 1A, 1B on either show. It's good.
Yeah. I like that they're promoting some matches ahead of time. It's a very small change that we talked about many moons ago, and they're finally doing it now. Continue to stick with it, because I do think, because when Dynamite went off the air, they had nothing announced for Collision. They didn't announce stuff until last night. I thought that was a mistake. It was like, oh man, don't drop the ball on this already. Like it's only been like a week. Keep the momentum of announcing stuff ahead of time. They had a match announced for next week, like you mentioned, Mariah May, Anna Jay, but they had nothing announced for this week when Dynamite went off the air for this week's Collision. I was like, oh, you gotta put something out there. They announced these two matches last night. It's still only two matches. You don't know otherwise what's going on. And Collision is hurting a little bit more than Dynamite when it comes to this stuff.
They had just witnessed a murder, so they had to, they couldn't throw to see you next Saturday on Collision for these matches.
Well, they could have. They usually do the match announcements like in the middle of the main event. I've just been told by Tony Khan that Ricochet, he's out of this world. He's going to be in action against Leo Rush.
And I'd be much happier if they stopped playing it off like that. I'd be much happier if they just let it be separate. But that's baby steps. We're getting there.
I've just been told by Tony Khan that FTR, they're going to be facing LFI, Rush, and Jalistico this Saturday on Collision.
SmackDown tonight is in Brooklyn. They're taping 2 episodes. Get ready for Cody Rhodes and Gunther face to face. Yeah, because of the Saudi stuff. We talked about this.
Right, yeah.
So Cody Rhodes and Gunther face to face, and then Game 7 of Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade with LA Knight, as the special guest referee. I'm sure this will lead to the announcement of the triple threat match at either Crown Jewel or the week next. It's going to be for the U.S. title. Those 3. That's about it. That's all that's announced right now.
I'm not watching SmackDown tonight.
Gonna watch Rampage instead?
Nah, I'm going to I allegedly am going to a Halloween party tonight, Joel.
My goodness, enjoy that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Can you guess who I'm going as, what I'm dressing up as?
Raggedy Andy.
That sounds awful. No.
It seems like
take a chat. Take a guess in the chat. Who I'm going as. What I'm
Chet
going
Akins.
as. Chet Akins. I could go as Chet Holmgren. I got kind of the beard and the goofy look to pull it off. Don't have the basketball skills, but not as tall. Pretty lanky.
Good work.
Yeah.
I don't know who are you going as. Tell the people because I need to get out of here anyway.
Do you really?
Yeah, I got a thing apparently to this afternoon that just came up.
No, going as a wrestler. Everybody going as a wrestler.
What kind of wrestler are we talking about here? Yeet? That one?
Cool wrestler. I did think about going as the Yeet Man.
That's Sexy Bunny.
As Rikishi likes to call him. Because I got the Jey Uso shirt. I got the Yeet shirt, so I could have just worn that. We got some sunglasses. We don't have the Yeet glasses, but we got some sunglasses.
You know what you should do? You want an activation?
Was on my list. What?
You get a bottle of Wheaties and you call them Yeeties just for one run of a box of Yeeties.
Okay.
Had to get that out there. You going as the Ratty Daddy?
No, God, no. I want to be. We love Cole Radrick. I did think about Sting. I got the mask. I did think about Sting. Thought about
You can
that
go
for
as
a
your
second.
favorite, Bryan Danielson. Put a bag over your head.
Wow.
It's
That-
Halloween.
I feel like that would go over people's head though.
Well, you know.
I'm going as someone.
That was sent to me by someone else, by the way. Shout out to you.
I'm going as someone close to Bryan Danielson. It's kind of close. Bryan Danielson involved in the Bryan Danielson story.
Oh, you're going as Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, Mercedes would be good. I'd just go around doing this.
Yeah, people will be very confused. Yeah. Who are you going as? Tell the people.
Nobody's gotten it. I'm not going to say. You can find out tonight on my Twitter timeline when I post the picture.
There you go. Don't follow him, but certainly go find the photo when it drops at 7:59 Eastern.
And it probably a little before that. I think the party starts at like 7.
Oh, so 5:30 Eastern. Go check Jeremy's Twitter accounts.
That sounds terrible. Don't do that.
We got a plethora of shows going on over the weekend, so go check that out. Rob and Maggie are live today at 3 p.m. Eastern if you're listening to us live on the Friday. Otherwise, you can find all of the archives here at Fightful Overbooked. Leave a thumbs up on the way out, and you can also subscribe to the channel. For Jeremy Lambert, I am at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. I will be live Saturday night after Bound for Glory with Cresta Star and Steven Jensen to wrap up the show over on youtube.com/Fightful. Till then, we'll see you in the next one.
Mana, the final boss. And here we go. This is how good. The final, god damn, that's good.